Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to 2023 and welcome to the Forex YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I posted a breakdown video on this channel, and I hope you forgive me for that. So hopefully in 2023, I would work on more videos and get out a lot of valuable content. So this is going to be my first breakdown video for the year. And even though I did not take this trade on a live account, I only paper traded it. I still feel like you could learn one or two things from the breakdown. But the trade was posted live on the Discord channel, on the Forex Discord channel. And I'll walk you through that right now so we can look at the trade together. All right. So this is the Discord channel. So if you look at time, it says 2:57 p.m. So this 2:57 p.m. is the West African time. So that was just roughly an hour after the New York Open, which I've been focusing more on recently. Recently, I've been only trying to trade the New York session. So I said I initially shared this trade idea, just for educational purpose, because I observed that a lot of traders have challenges when they try to, analyze different time frames to form a trade idea. So, you see some traders, they have the 4-hour, the 15 minutes, and the 5 minutes, but they don't know how to put each of these time frames together to get a specific trade idea that they can possibly execute. So that was the intention of this post on the Discord channel. So as you can see, I said this is an example of how to combine several time frames to form a trade idea. So this was the first chart I posted, and this was the 15-minute chart. I want you to look at this chart, and I'll go into my trading view to explain what I saw. So, but before I start, let me call your attention to the fact that I'm an intraday trader. So I base my structure on the 15 minutes time frame. But in some cases where the 15 minutes time frame is, you have too much price action to focus on the screen. On the screen, I might just switch to the 1 hour occasionally, but majorly you often find me on the 15 minutes time frame in order to analyze my structure. So I won't go deep into the structural marking, but I'll just try and explain it as best as I can. So as you can see, we are currently bearish on the 15 minutes on Euro USD based on how I mark my structure, because I follow this principle that if we are in a downtrend or if we are in a bearish order flow, I want to see external liquidity taken to the downside as a break of structure. And after the external liquidity is taken, I want to see the market retrace back to take out internal liquidity. So as we can see these red dots. So these are my swing points, structural swing points. So we have this low, we have this high, we have this lower low. So after this lower low was created, the market retraced back and we took out an internal high here, which is our internal liquidity. So after taking it out, we formed this lower high, and now we formed a lower low. All right. So this was the lower low that was formed. Okay. So on seeing this, I understood that the 15 minutes was bearish because now we have taken out external liquidity as a form of break of structure. So I was anticipating price, to retrace back to take out internal liquidity. So looking at this price leg, remember my price leg is from this red dot, this swing high, up until this swing low. So this is my price range, or this is my price leg. So I was able to identify some interesting liquidity points, and I could see this high as a liquidity point, my first internal liquidity where I'm looking for the market to take. That's why I marked it with this line right here. So I'm expecting the market to, at least take out this internal liquidity. If that is going to happen, that is what I am anticipating. Okay. So seeing that the 15 minutes is bearish, let me go back to the Discord channel and read what I wrote. So you can see, okay, so here we see the 15 minutes is bearish and it's my main structure time frame. External liquidity has been taken in the form of a break of structure. So I'm anticipating internal liquidity to get taken after the retracement. And that was just what I explained shortly. So dropping down to the 5 minutes, we could see that, the 5 minutes is looking a little bit different from the 15 minutes. And why is that? We could see that after breaking the 15 minutes low, which is this line right here, broke the 15-minute structure, we could expect a retracement, and we can see that the market is already giving us a retracement. And how do I know that the market is giving me a retracement? First, I could see that we had this change of character right here. We had the change of character. And remember, after this change of character, the market retraced. After retracing, we took out some internal liquidity right here, and we broke structure to the upside. So from what we can see from this retracement on the 5 minutes, we can easily say that the 5 minutes is bullish. The 5 minutes is bullish. The 15 minutes is bearish. The 5 minutes is bullish. So seeing that the 5 minutes is bullish, let's look at what price has done recently. You will see that on the 5 minutes, we had broken this high. And after breaking this high, we took out external liquidity. Remember, in a bullish order flow, in a bullish trend, I want to see the market take out external liquidity as a break of structure. And after taking out external liquidity, I want to see the market retrace back down to take out internal liquidity. So, but before this price action formed, this was the internal liquidity that I had marked out. Some people might call it inducement. So whichever one you call it, I think you are correct. So let me annotate this inducement. So let's go back to the Discord. So on the Discord, you can see on the 5 minutes, rather, I said going into the 5 minutes, we can clearly see the retracement forming after we had our change of character and even a follow-through break of structure. So the 5 minutes is bullish, and if you are a scalper, you can ride the 5-minute retracement buy until your marked point of 15 minutes internal liquidity is taken. Also on the 5 minutes, we have taken out external liquidity as a break of structure, just like I explained earlier. So I'm anticipating internal liquidity to be taken as well as to continue the bullish 5 minutes move. So let me open the chart so show you. So you can see this was the change of character I marked, and this was the break of structure, and this was the inducement I was talking about. This was the inducement I had marked out as my internal liquidity. Remember, we have taken out external liquidity. We are now expecting price to take out internal liquidity. That's why I had this low marked as my first point of inducement. There are some cases where the market will take out this inducement and, probably even come deeper to even take out this low. But, I wanted to first see how the market is going to react based off of this on the 5 minutes, following the 5 minutes narrative. Remember, we have built two narratives now. We have built the 15 minutes narrative, which is bearish. Now we are building the 5 minutes narrative, which is bullish. Okay. So let me go back to my chart. So I was anticipating this low to get taken. This was the low I was referring to. Okay. So what was the next thing I saw? I dropped down to the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, what could I see? Let me go back to, okay, I'm already on the chart. On the 1 minute, what could I see? On the 1 minute, we had the market break this 15 minutes high. So now let's study price action from the high. So first I can see that, the price was moving in a bullish wave. We created this high, we traced back down. We created this high, we traced back down. Then we created this new high. But I can observe quickly that, when this wick was formed, it swept buy-side liquidity. We swept buy-side liquidity. We swept buy-side liquidity. And after sweeping buy-side liquidity, what did we have? We had a change of character here, a 1 minute change of character. Now we're on the 1 minute time frame. We are trying to build the story or the narrative for the 1 minute. So we had a change of character to the downside. So after the change of character, you know, price created an inducement because we had this. We had price create a change of character, trace back to the upside and broke structure. So, but for me and some of my traders, they know that when I say I like this, it is regarded as an inducement. So this was an inducement. So an inducement. So, and there was an unmitigated order block right in this week here. There was an unmitigated order block right in that week there. So, and as you can see, price didn't tap into the order block to the T, but that doesn't matter. The order block is just a confluence, as according to my own opinion. The order block is just a confluence. The major thing that the market is after is your liquidity. So you can mark this as internal liquidity or inducement, whichever one. Let me mark it as inducement. So we could see that after we had the change of character, the market created an inducement, created a liquidity. And after creating the liquidity, the market took out the liquidity and, you know, dropped down to break this structure, this structural low. So let me annotate what we have now using our dot. So we had this. Let me change the color to green. Okay. So we also have this low. And after the low, we had this high formed. Okay. So now we have broken this 1 minute structure to the downside, EOS down. And remember, now we are beginning to understand that the 1 minute is bearish. In as much as the 5 minutes is bullish, we can also see that, you know, the 1 minute is retracing. The 1 minute is retracing, it's selling, it's bearish, it's retracing. So, and when we have a bearish order flow like this, what do we expect? We expect price to break external liquidity. And after taking out external liquidity, we expect price to retrace back to take out some internal liquidity. So we can see that this was our swing high. So where is our swing low? Where did our swing low form? Our swing low formed right here. So now we are expecting a retracement. The goal of the retracement is to take out an internal liquidity or an internal inducement. So what was the first point of inducement I identified? This was the first point of inducement that I identified here. This right here was the first point of inducement that I identified. Okay, so, and after that, you know, looking at this point here where we had as our swing high, we could see that there's a wick right there. So that tells me that there is an hidden order block there. So you can decide to use this wick. But in my own case, what I did was that I went back to 5 minutes to see if I would get a nice candle. And I did get that on the 5 minutes. So this was what I had. And I extended it to the left. That was what I did. So let me go back to the 1 minute. So we are still on the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, we could see that, you know, we had this inducement, which is our first point of inducement. And we had an even deeper inducement right here. And you can see that both of them are internal liquidity, because why? We have taken out external liquidity after we broke structure. So after we break structure, we expect price to retrace, and the goal of the retracement is to take out internal liquidity. So we can see now that we have 2 internal liquidity points marked. So after the first internal liquidity point was taken, after it was taken, you know, there's really no confirmation for you to go short there's really no confirmation to go short. So that was why I was not even looking to take this. And in cases like this where you have 2 points of interest, or where you have 2 internal liquidity where you are waiting for the market to take, the extreme always has the highest probability. So I think that is logical enough for you to understand. So we have our extreme internal liquidity marked right at this high, and we have our order block. So 2 ways by which you can enter. You can enter aggressively. And what do I mean by aggressively? You can enter aggressively just right on the order block, or even if you want to be conservative with your entry, you can just enter right at the high of the inducement since it's close to the order block. And where are you going to target? You are going to target the 5 minutes inducement. I will explain why we are targeting the 5 minutes inducement, but this is one way you could have entered. Another way you could have entered is by waiting for confirmation. So if we wait for confirmation, just want to see, a confirmation that would enable us to take this trade. So we can see that, here right at this point, we had a shift in market structure. And after the shift in market structure, we had this break of structure, we had this retracement to the upside. And shortly after that, what do we have? We had a sweep. We had this sweep. So this could have been, this candle that caused the sweep could have been, at the close of the candle could have been your entry as well. So whichever one you choose. But for me, in cases like this, since I've already done my analysis and it's already on the 1 minute and I've tagged up several confirmation, and I will just enter aggressively at this order block. That's what I would have done if I had taken this trade live, but this is another way by which you can enter. So let me just go back to where I would have, or how I would have entered. Okay. So I would have entered here. Okay. So pips above the other block. So I'll be targeting this low, and this was around a 1 to 5 hour trade. So let me go back to the Discord channel so you can see what I talked about on the 1 minute. So I said on the 1 minute, finally looking at the 1 minute, we can see that the 1 minute is now bearish after we had a buy-side liquidity sweep and a change of character. We can also see that external liquidity is being taken to the downside, and internal liquidity or inducement is being taken as retracement. On the current 1 minute leg or range, we can see that the first inducement has been taken, but there is no significant change of character to sell from. I explained that. So you could be looking to see if price reacts from the extreme liquidity, internal liquidity, and possibly mitigate the extreme OB, which I refined on the 5 minutes, to sell from after entry confirmation. If you get entry confirmation, you can now look to target the 5 minute internal liquidity mentioned in the second chart, blah, blah, blah. So this was the chart I posted, just the way I explained a few moments ago. This was the first inducement point, this was the extreme, and this was the entry order block right here. And as you can see, at around 4:12 p.m. West African time, the trade played out. So now back to the chart, let me tell you why I was targeting this 15 minutes inducement point. Remember, we were building the story. We built the story up. We built the story starting from the 15 minutes time frame. So on the 15 minutes, we said we were bearish. And this was the internal liquidity we were expecting price to come into, take out the internal liquidity before we continue the 15 minutes bearish trend. But while waiting for that, we dropped down into the 5 minutes. So on the 5 minutes as well, we can see that the retracement has started in a bid to possibly take out this internal liquidity. All right. So we can see that the latest happening on the 5 minutes was that we broke this high. We broke this high. And after we broke the high, we expected price to take out this internal liquidity. So the internal liquidity where we are expecting price to take out on the 5 minutes is where I was targeting. And it also fits, the trade also fits my entry time window, because my entry time window starts at around 2 p.m. West African time. And you can see the entry was around almost 4 p.m. West African time. So it fits my entry window. So this is the breakdown of the trade, and I hope you are able to learn one or two things in this video. So if you have any question or if you have anything you want me to clarify, you can drop a comment, and don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.